What is a shared death experience? You've heard of near-death experiences, but imagine something even more mysterious. A moment where the living don't just witness death, they experience it alongside their loved one. Somehow they join them in their final moments, seeing, feeling, even travelling part of the way as they cross over. It's as if, for just a moment, the boundary between life and death disappears. That's exactly what happened to Sarah. One moment, she and her husband were in the ocean fighting against the waves. The next, he was gone. But in the moments that followed, something happened that she never could have imagined. This is her story. Here is a short audio clip of Sarah Friedrich with an English voiceover.
That was in 2012. We were newly married with my then husband, and we decided to spend our honeymoon in Colombia in the Caribbean. And on one part of the trip, there was also a mutual friend with us. We were on the coast in a national park. We walked to a beach, and then we went to the water.
They were just waist deep, letting the waves roll past them, laughing, talking, enjoying the moment. Then, something changed. It was subtle at first, just a small pull beneath her feet. But then, it got stronger. Her husband felt it too. They turned towards shore, tried to walk back, but with every step forward, the water dragged them back. The sand beneath them disappeared, their footing was gone. That's when Sarah saw it, the fear in her husband's eyes. And that's when she knew they were being pulled out. She looked around. The beach was already further away. Sarah tried to swim back, but the water wouldn't let her. The harder she fought, the more she was dragged out. She looked over and saw her husband, only 5 meters away. Their eyes met, and she saw it. The panic, the fear. That's when she knew he couldn't help her. He was in the exact same situation. They both started screaming for help. The waves were towering over them now, crashing down, swallowing them. Sarah's body was exhausted, every muscle burned, her lungs desperate for air. And then the thought hit her, this is how I die. And then she heard it, trust and surrender. It wasn't her husband, it wasn't her friend, it was something else, a voice, a presence. It didn't just speak to her, it filled her. And in that instant, something inside her shifted. She stopped fighting, she trusted, she surrendered. Her body relaxed, and instead of pulling against the water, she let it take her. And with each powerful pull of the sea, she moved, not against it, but with it. Then she saw him. She had drifted closer to her husband. He was struggling, gasping, swallowing water. His arms flailed wildly, his face twisted in panic. Here is a short audio clip of Sarah Friedrich with an English voiceover.
And I swam to my husband and wanted to help him, but when I got to him, he was already panicking. He was waving his arms around, and I heard him swallowing water, and I couldn't calm him down. And our friend heard our calls for help and swam out to help us, and he was already very close. And in that moment, I made the decision to try to get to shore, so that he only needed to take care of one person. And then I swam on with the next wave, waited again, swam on again, waited again, and that's how I managed to get back to the beach.
She reached the shore and turned back, watching as their friend, desperate to help, swam toward her husband. But by the time he reached him, it was too late. Her husband had lost consciousness. The friend tried to pull him back, but the waves, merciless, powerful, ripped them apart again and again. And then he had to make a choice. Hold on and drown with him, or let go. He let go. Sarah ran for help, returning to the beach with a group of strangers. But there was nothing, no boat, no rescue equipment, just the vast, unforgiving ocean. Then, out of nowhere, 2 Argentinian tourists saw what was happening and rushed in. They brought him back to shore. Sarah saw them carrying his body, and for a brief, beautiful moment, hope. He's safe. They saved him. But then, reality hit. He wasn't breathing. No pulse. His body, lifeless. They tried to resuscitate him, mouth to mouth, chest compressions. Nothing. Sarah opened his mouth to help, but then She felt it. His jaw was hard. He was gone. Here is a short audio clip of Seru Friedrich with an English voiceover.
Where I was standing on the beach, and I looked down at myself, and I realized, I have a body of light. And then I saw that on the left of me, on the floor, was my physical body, and next to it was the physical body of my husband. So I was outside my body and had a kind of energetic or light body. And from this perspective, I also saw my husband in his light body. And I remember my first thought was, there you are. I was worried about you, because then I saw he's doing well. And at the same time, I realized that he was also worried about me and about other people he left behind. And we were able to say goodbye to each other on this level. And I promised him that I would find a way for me to deal with it and to live on. I encouraged him to go into the light.
Then suddenly she saw his life from the moment of his birth to this exact second, and then she saw her own, as if every choice, every step had led them both to this moment. She wanted to speak, but words weren't necessary. Their souls were communicating beyond language. She knew what he was saying, that he didn't want to go yet, that he wished he had more time with her. But at the same time, there was an acceptance within him, a knowing that this was how it was always meant to be. She wanted to go with him. She asked, "Can I go too?" The golden presence that had been watching them gave the answer. No, it's not your time. You still have something to do. It was his time to go, but not hers, not yet. Here is a short audio clip of Seru Friedrich with an English voiceover.
And I was so touched by this experience that I had just had, and all the insights that were associated with it, and that I had seen my husband outside of his physical body, and that I now knew with certainty, through experience, that I also have an existence outside of my physical body. There was a level where I was in really deep peace and a really deep acceptance. And then there was a totally different level where I just sat on this beach as a human being, as a woman, and held the hand of this dead body. And inside I just screamed, "No, come back, come back." So it always threw me back and forth between a deep despair and a state of inner peace and inner calm. It was very challenging to get back into the body. I then took more time on the beach to really say goodbye and really spend time with the body of my husband. And then we were evacuated by a military helicopter.
What an incredible experience! Imagine witnessing someone's entire life from beginning to end, feeling their journey, their purpose, their fate. Imagine seeing it all and understanding in that one breathtaking moment that everything had unfolded exactly as it was meant to. Can you imagine what that must have felt like? To stand between life and death, to hold someone you love as they leave this world, yet know, without question, that they are not truly gone. So what do you believe? Have you ever experienced something you couldn't explain? If this video resonated with you, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps keep these powerful stories alive, allowing more people to find comfort, peace, and reassurance. And if this story moved you, there are more waiting for you on the end screen. Until next time, take care, and remember, you are never truly alone.